legs. What's going on, guys? It's Dealer here, back again with yet another RDX podcast, and I mean it again this week. We've got so much good stuff to talk about. We got a phenomenal panel. Colt Eastwood could not be here this week. He's kind of wrapping up some things, but he'll be back next week. In his place, we've got one Randall Thor. We're gonna get to some introductions. We're gonna give some shout outs. We've got topics all the way ranging from a massive Microsoft E3 conference leak, all the way from Sony saying console gaming is niche, all the way to PlayStation 5, performance numbers, stuff like that, and then new Xbox games and more. So thank you guys so much for joining us. If you're here early, hit that like button, maybe share this when you share things. Randall Thor, thank you for coming on and joining us, sir.
Well, Dealer Gaming, as Yoshida would say, thank you very much for inviting me to this niche podcast. I appreciate the invite. And, for anybody who's here live, watching now, or listening to it later, make sure you shut the door, close it, lock it if you have a shtick, because I might steal it and do it better than you ever could do while being more entertaining and knowledgeable. So be careful of your shtick, guys. Make sure you watch out after it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure you stole the shtick of people who are accusing you of stealing the stick, because your stick is way less.
Either way, I'm Randall Stick Stealer 19.
You're Randall. Go fuck yourself if you think I stole your stick. Tim Dog, how are you doing, sir?
Oh, wow. My mind is blown from this week. Ready to go, ready to talk what we're going to talk about, because this is a big time news week, and I haven't had one of these in a long time. So I'm also happy to be here. Rand the Shtick, I love you. Thanks for coming on.
I got a lot of gamer score, but I actually have sources, so it makes up for it.
And I don't hide it.
Hey, we've got Little Soccer 87. How you been, brother? You've been doing good on YouTube. You've been doing the Lord's work. How you been?
Doing good, man. I'm ducking these shots being fired. I'm like, holy shit, fuck, it's starting off early. It's going great. Playing a lot of fucking games and having a good time. And these topics, man, I was going through them when I was at the gym, and I'm just like, damn, these are freaking fire today.
You looked up, damn, I'm at the gym. What the fuck?
I know, right? I was like, I don't know, lift weights.
Hey, Fonzarelli, how have you been, sir?
Kind of bad. I woke up today working all night. Woke up to a phone call to call this number, because apparently it was from the Social Security Department, and I couldn't understand. I think his name was Officer David. He had a real thick, heavy accent. So I don't know, but he told me that there was some fraudulent activity on my Social Security number, and that anyway, to make a long story short, it's going to take about 19 Google Play cards to get this resolved. So I'm a little worried.
he just pulled up the issue, and it's just a picture of you. Now there's some fraudulent activity on their Social Security number. D Batch, man, how have you been? Welcome back to the show, our final intro for tonight. Thank you so much for once again joining us.
Man, I've been good, man. We had a long weekend.
Let's get that mic louder, D Batch. You're the most talented.
We had a long weekend here in Canada, so I'm like really, really relaxed. And to be honest with you, the news that we got last week, I'm on cloud 9. I can't wait to get into the topics. A lot of crow will be fed. I just can't wait, man. We got some awesome topics here. Let's go, man.
Yeah,
Are weeks longer in Canada?
We've already got over 350 people watch this live, guys. Hit that like button if you're here early. We do appreciate it. It's going to be a big show. And once more, stay tuned around right after E3, because we are going to be doing a live show right after Microsoft's E3. And who knows, maybe some more. We might come up with some more stuff to do. But I got to give a shout out to the patrons. Keep in mind, if you're a patron or you want to be a patron, this list updates once a month. So if you're going to subscribe to it, do it before the 1st. That's when it updates. That's when these names update. So David, thank you so much. Suicide King. We got Captain Redbeard. We got Lethal Papa. We got Prime Suspect. We got Michael Bowen, Channing Pennington, Guillermo Cabillo. We got Wummy Hood, Biggie 2316. You guys are absolutely fucking awesome. I do appreciate it so much. And now let's start talking about some niche stuff, Tim Dog. Some really niche stuff. Well, I mean, certain things are niche. We got there's people like to do weird things covered in mayonnaise. That's pretty niche. What else is pretty? I mean, there's a lot of niche things, but is console gaming niche? Because according to Sony, consoles are niche. Tim Dog.
Well, all I have to say is, wow. I mean, this is something that has been going on, talked about for the last 7 months. You've heard the phrase dedicated console. that means I just play my console and that's it, and I don't go outside and I don't play it. I'm just a dedicated console gamer. You heard stuff like they don't need to do this, and in reality, Sony did the right thing and they signed on with Microsoft on this partnership, and they're going to have their cloud solution. So the fact of the niche thing is that's all from this is that that's the way they see it. That's the way Microsoft sees it. And I think that's the way, obviously, Google sees it. Does this mean an end to the consoles? I don't think so. That's another debate at another time. But they're all going this direction. So it's just a shock to me. I thought, and I think even the PlayStation employees thought, that they were going to just go in without some type of solution and just have PS Now getting trampled on by the competitors and made fun of. They actually did the right thing, and they gave themselves a cloud solution. But I don't think the PlayStation. I think the PlayStation employees, the reason why they were kept out is because they wouldn't want to do business.
We're not to that yet, Tim Dog. We're not to that part.
Yes,
yet,
yes. I read the thing, but I don't want to go long-winded. I'm just really amped up on this, and
there's a lot to like say about that.
It's a lot.
I gotta say Rumple Foreskin for Biggie. Thanks so much, bud. Rumple Foreskin. I'm gonna have to end up saying it more than once. Rumple Foreskin always super chats as well. Rand, explain the scenario of how did Sony come to kind of admit that, hey, ultimately console gaming is really niche, and they're already starting to kind of get that foot out the door to get their games on multiple devices, as those job listings have already leaked.
Dude, can you imagine if Phil Spencer came out today in an interview and said that console gaming was niche?
Oh my God.
You would have Sony fans and Xbox fans too. And, you know, they would be upset as well. Like, are you serious? Like, is this Xbox is dead? They're getting out of the console business. Phil Spencer's admitting that the console market is niche. And here you
Foreheads
have Sony.
would melt, bro.
Yeah, people would be
would
be legit upset. There'd be pitchforks at Redmond.
So, man,
like,
you see both sides though. Like, are the Sony guys not freaking out about this?
Not from what I can tell. And I have a lot of PlayStation fans that follow me. The ones that are very respectful, I'm respectful too. I value other people's opinions about certain subjects, but we've talked about this before. The writing's on the wall. The future is streaming, right? Eventually down the road, 15, 16 years from now. For now, it's the console, but Sony obviously needs to protect its business interests, and you have Google about to make a play. You have Amazon about to make a play, two of the biggest companies in the world, and they're going to sell third-party games, which is the bread and butter of what PlayStation does. So PlayStation needs to meet that. They need to protect their own business. The only way to do that is offering the console and at the same time offering games through streaming, whether it's via PlayStation Now on your PC or presumably, more than likely, on your mobile phone. They want to be able to protect everything that they've built over the past 20 years. And this is just the CEO
and kind of sticking their foot out the door, right? I mean, you're saying a lot of smart things, accurate things, but you're not telling me what I want to hear. Fonz, really, are you not pissed off about this?
No, here's the thing. Just a couple of years ago, I remember there were articles written about how Sony's growth was almost entirely centered around the success of PlayStation. So if they had articles talking about how Sony's success was hinged around the PlayStation, why is it now a niche thing? Why would he say that? Like, I know it's not their biggest business, but it's a large part of what makes Sony successful. Hell, it's even bigger than their mobile division now. So I mean, it's been bigger than their mobile division anyway, but still, I just find it kind of weird that Sony their CEO would say this.
And I thought it was one of the most profitable
investors, right?
I thought it was one of the most profitable parts of Sony. I thought it was one of the best parts of Sony that they have, and that's why people said, "Oh, they keep investing in them." And this is something that doesn't surprise me that he said it, because, Dealer, if you remember, we were in a party a couple nights ago, and I said, if everybody remembers, Colt's not here today, but he put out a poll of how many PlayStations and how many Xboxes have you bought this year or this generation, and everybody put like way more than 3. Like, I bought 2. I think Dealer bought like 3 out of them, and 4, and some people have bought 6. And when you put those numbers together, they don't equal 100 million people. They literally equal maybe, and this is like just being me generalizing, maybe 70 to 80 million people that are console gamers. That's not a lot when you look at
on one platform, I would say.
Yeah, well, not just one platform. People are like, "Oh, I bought a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox, so that's 2 consoles, right?" Some people were like, I bought an Xbox, Xbox One X, blah, blah, blah. It all goes to the same numbers. Same with the PS4 and the PS4.
So you're
Or
talking about
PS4
like
Pro.
out of the most hardcore on Twitter.
Yeah, the most hardcore
of them
people are
own
buying
more than one console.
Yeah, they buy more than one console, which adds to the number of like the 96 million to the 40 whatever million Xbox has. It all is the same where you look at the numbers and it does equate not 100 people, not 100 million gamers. And maybe like we'll just make that the floor, right? Or the middle part, like 100 million people buy consoles. They're asking for 2 billion gamers. So yeah, when you look at it that way, it is what he said isn't wrong. People just don't like hearing it. And that's the thing, because they're always like, consoles are whatever anything we want, and that's all Sony's gonna do. No, idiot. They're a smart company. That's not what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, piggybacking off of what Zucker actually just said there, like, if you look at his quote, he says, if you look at the game industry as a whole, the console market is not a major market. It's a rather niche market, which is true. Well, like, we've heard that gaming goes up to 2 billion, and, you know, Phil and everybody in the industry talks about how you only get about 250 million consoles sold. So by definition, the console gaming market is a specialized niche market, but Sony wants a bigger piece of the pie. So they're putting their eggs and looking, you know, spreading it out and looking towards the future, which is eventually streaming and things like that. So, I mean, Yoshida, the CEO, isn't speaking nothing but facts.
Yeah, facts, you know? Yoshida.
She should have said it though. That's a bad thing to say, in my opinion.
I mean, it's not a bad thing to say, but at the same time,
It's a fanboy killer.
It all comes down to what Rand said. What if Bill, and I have this in my topics, what if Phil Spencer just said this?
Oh God,
you know what I'm saying?
I wrote a tweet. Yeah, I mean, it would be unbelievable.
I mean, Bill can't even talk about how single player games make less money usually than multiplayer games without getting, you know, taken out of quote and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Stick figure in the chat says 50% of revenue from gaming is on phones, which yes. Gaming revenue is very high on self because you know they got those users. West Webb is still talking about console sold 2 to 1. I mean, for a guy that likes numbers, you sure aren't really. You're not okay. You're just being stupid. There's a lot of aspects of this kind of stuff, and at the end of the day, my focus is how would these guys react if Phil said it? Probably completely different. There'd be videos right now about it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Yoshida's like, "Fuck you, bitch, it's niche," and then he walks away, and it is what it is. And the reason that he said this is because later on they're going to have to justify to some of their hardcore guys that look, your games are coming to mobile. They're coming to every device, like we said, job listings, etc. D-Batch, what are your thoughts, real quick?
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing you said. They're trying to set the narrative here, so they're slowly warming up gamers to the idea that, listen, PlayStation exclusives are not necessarily just going to be on a PlayStation device. We're going to have some in the cloud. You know,
that shit's niche.
Yeah, I guess that's just the way they're trying to bring it into to the base of PlayStation owners. I don't really think it. In a way, it is niche, but in a way, it's not, because console gaming really does dictate most of gaming, because most of the games sold were like traditional games are on consoles. I'm not talking about mobile games. I'm talking like, you know, real video games. They're on the console.
Games, yeah.
Well, I find it a little different. I find it that he's trying to, because we all answer to someone, right? He's the CEO, but they do have board members. They do have people that have stock, you know, everything like that. I think that he's trying to justify the $400 million L they took with Gaikai, and then being like, we need to partner with Microsoft to, you know, we know they've had discussions with Amazon. We know they had discussion with Google. They've had to have discussions with all these companies that are doing game streaming, and they made the decision that Xbox or Microsoft and the Azure servers are the best possible answer for us. And we're just going to take the $400 million L and be like, fuck it. We made a mistake there. And this is what we have to say to make that a viable option, because, you know, we've heard a lot of things about, internally at Sony, people in Sony didn't even know this was fucking happening.
Yeah, no idea. And also the stock, not to interrupt, but I just want to say also the stock, Wall Street was actually looking at Sony, and their last couple of numbers, which they dropped, you would think would have propelled them the stock, but their stock was dropping. Their stock was dropping every time that they came out. And one of the things that they were looking at was Sony's going to have no cloud solution. Yep. So once they got that, I think they solidified themselves in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. But definitely the Wall Street was onto this. So
I took my $24 L hard when I bought Project Cars. Sony must be really pissed right now.
Well, we were discussing this right before the show about how, if you just look at some past articles just a couple of months ago when Stadia was put out there and shown off, Sony's stock took a dive.
Dropped, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's not even-
Rand kind of explained that well, right? Could be, a few different factors, but at the end of the day, when investors see that you're not prepared to compete for the future of gaming for that $2 billion, Google, Amazon, Microsoft all are, their faith is a little bit wavered, I would say, right?
Well, I think it has to do with Switch too. People don't look at Switch as like a console per se, a traditional console. It's more mobile, and they are beating Sony in their own home in Japan. So like they're looking at this console like generation. They're like, yeah, we did really well. We're fucking killing it, but we're also losing at home. We're losing in areas because of this mobile thing, like the Switch is. That's why they're adapting. They're not a stupid fucking company, people. They're adapting. They're not going to listen to dumb people online telling them, no, you just stick with one box and that's it.
Down, damn it. Do not let this game go anywhere. So Michael Tricillo, thank you so much. He says, I haven't donated in a while. Do appreciate it, brother. D-Bash, you got something else to say?
Yeah, I think the big takeaway from this is how good is Microsoft's cloud service that Sony would actually bend the knee to their rival and partner up with them. Like, let's just be honest. That service has to be truly amazing and ahead of what the other competitors have because they were talking with everybody.
I was waiting to hear bend the knee, and I finally heard it.
It's not even about bending the knee. It's just about running a business.
No,
as
Sony
said, they're smart.
I disagree with that. So, Sony's a very proudful company. That culture.
Proudful.
It's true though.
I knew I answered my D-Bash just now.
Yeah, but pride has nothing to do with it when it comes to business, man. It's cutthroat. Either way you look at it, they're going to do what they have to do to try to, grow and make money.
And they just proved that by signing a deal with Microsoft, right? And furthermore, as Tim kind of alluded to, yes, we're going to get that in a second. But if you missed it, I did do a video on this. Everyone did. But Sony did sign a deal with Microsoft to utilize Azure Cloud and work with them and trade technologies in a way they're gonna pay Microsoft to basically use their dedicated server cloud system. And it says it right there in the report. This is going to be used for Sony's streaming services, like PS Now, and their games. So don't be surprised if you hear more about crossplay. Don't be surprised if you hear more about PlayStation Now. Make the move to Azure. Don't be surprised if you hear a lot of these things. And a lot of people thought this would never happen. Some are trying to spin it into Xbox games that come into PlayStation for some reason. When actually, what this literally means is that Sony are literally paying Microsoft to help them put their games on all devices. As once again, those job listings leaked forever ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? and don't be surprised if Microsoft doesn't use some of Sony's sensors and some of their cameras.
They're going to put it in the next Kinect so they can spy on you.
Several things. I mean that's the whole thing. This is a partnership. It's a deal that they made together. This is not.
But Sony are not getting paid to do this. Like that's what people are crazy saying that Sony are making all this money.
I mean, it's obvious. A partnership is give and take, and people that are running around saying one company is getting the better of the other. It's ridiculous. This is.
Sony is a customer. Sony is an Azure customer. They are paying to utilize that set of servers, right? I mean, that's like I'm sure we all know how this works. Azure, that's how they've invested 50+ billion into the server network. The only way they're making this money back is if more people get on it. That's how they make their money back on these servers. The more people on these servers, the better. Sony is one of the biggest companies in the world that will use these servers. This is a massive win for Microsoft, right?
Well, yeah.
So at the end of the day, they may get some sensors or whatever, someone make someone a sandwich. I don't know. But they are a paying customer, just like Ubisoft, just like everyone else. And they're going to make a lot of money off this, and hopefully they put it into games.
Well, I think it's also a little bit of a kind of relief for me personally that these servers, because, like we said, they've talked to Amazon, they talked to Google, they talked to probably even Apple, a bunch of people are trying to get this off the ground, and they chose Microsoft. Like Sony literally chose their rival. Like maybe that's how good this xCloud thing is. That's how well optimized it is. That's how easy it is to develop for. And it's just developer friendly. And that's why they chose it. Like I'm actually looking forward to seeing what this xCloud can do and the power behind it and what we're going to get as gamers on our phones, tablets, or whatever. I just think it's pretty cool. I think it's awesome. And I think the industry is moving beyond what we can even comprehend or think of.
I also think, like you were alluding to, Dealer, I really think we're going to get crossplay next gen. I was on the fence on it, but now I can't see crossplay not happening. I just can't see it not happening.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. This new update kind of added those icons next to your names and stuff. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but you can see when somebody's on a tablet, a cell phone, a PC. We can see when Zocker's playing PC now, so it's great.
Which is all the time, 99.9% of the time.
He's like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah. Dude, I got a question for you,
700
buddy.
gamer score and rage.
Go ahead, bro.
It sounds like everybody's just hating on PlayStation, bro. What's up with that? Is this PlayStation hate podcast?
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, all we're doing is addressing the dumbest shit we've heard since this deal went down. I said it in my video. If you're a Sony fan, be happy. You are getting. This is good for you, right?
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Nobody's hating PlayStation. Like, this is look, PlayStation or Sony and Microsoft working together. They're just two businesses that have done, business together. That are now doing even more business together. Sony realizes they need to shore up one part of their business that Microsoft offers a solution to, and it's a handshake deal. Now, like PlayStation now is going to be much better in the future.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Like, talking about that, like, hating PlayStation would be basically saying, hey, God of War and Days Gone, they're one and dones. They're horrible
They're
games.
trash.
Sony doesn't make anything besides walking simulators and movie. Like, that's hate. Like, talking about deals between companies where it's like it's going to improve their services and you might be able to play God of War on your mobile phone eventually. That's not hate. Like, I don't like. People need to kind of.
I mean, that's stuff that's been on the wall for months and months and months. So that's not hate.
Yeah, but you also had a bunch of people saying, "Oh, well, we don't need that. This mobile's a joke. And we don't have to go that route."
I don't want more options for
just
my
say,
purchases.
yeah, I don't want options. I'm a traditionalist. I just like to have a traditional console. Just put it right onto the TV and play. That's all I want to
They
do.
didn't complain when it was on the TV, though. Tim,
yeah, exactly. But they have a huge amount of egg on the face. So yeah, for a guy like me that I saw all that, and to be honest, I kept my mouth shut. I let the certain people who were pushing that narrative let them push the narrative. Now they get a pile full of egg on the face every day. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But to talk about the xCloud and what Zorka was saying, I have heard that Phil was very instrumental in this. And
Go ahead.
No, I heard that he was very instrumental at this. He's behind this deal, much like he was with the Minecraft.
And there are more deals to come.
Yeah, there are more deals to come.
This is not the only one.
Hold on one second. Phil knew about this. I was told Xbox people had no clue. And Sony was. I heard from a reliable person, Randall 419, that Sony was betrayed, or PlayStation was betrayed.
That's what I wanted to ask you about.
Oh my God!
What is the deal with Sony, the company, going behind the PlayStation division's back?
Well, here's the thing here. It is asinine to think that someone like Jim Ryan or John Cordero, the bigwigs at PlayStation, didn't know this was happening. Of course they do. Just like Phil Spencer at Xbox knew, and probably Ybarra, and anybody who needed to know about the deal knew about the deal. Even the Bloomberg article said largely without PlayStation involvement. Now, largely without doesn't mean entirely without, which means there was some PlayStation involvement. So reading comprehension, people, understand what actual words mean. So yes, they wouldn't have done something for PlayStation without.
You're stealing my stick of reading and shit.
I'm sorry, bro. I
read too, Rand. You're not allowed to.
Am I stealing your stick of doing podcasts and videos too?
None of that shit no more. It's all mine.
Yeah, apparently they didn't tell the guy that delivers the sandwiches to Sony.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Okay, so that's the other thing I wanted to say. Imagine you're a PlayStation employee, regular employee, 9 to 5 dude coming in, and your job is working in the PlayStation Now division or the cloud section of PlayStation. And you bring up Twitter and you see Sony Microsoft sound deal, and you're like, whoa, what is this? And then you see that they signed a deal for the cloud, which is what you directly work in. You might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, did my job just become redundant? Do I need to update my resume? Am I going to have to learn a whole bunch of new stuff? So of course those people would freak out. You know what I mean?
Yep, they sure would. Michael Chichillo again in the super chat. What about Let me read this. Michael Chichillo, thank you so much. He says, "What about the new Oculus Rift for the Xbox 2?" We don't know yet, but we do think Microsoft are going to let third party take care of VR if and when that becomes available. Obviously, it's going to be capable. We'll see what they do with that.
You know what I heard? I heard that PlayStation VR will be on the next Xbox because of this partnership. That's what I heard.
I like how there's certain people out there that the only way they can get likes is to hammer Xbox now after they fucking run their shit into the ground. And they're saying, obviously, this partnership means that PlayStation games are coming to Xbox. Like they're trying to mock people like anyone's fucking saying that. Only idiots that are saying other games are coming to someone else's console are these radical Sony dudes.
It's, you know, at the end of the day, it's a partnership, whether it's financial or tech given back and forth. It's a partnership. It's a deal was struck here that, you know, most people know nothing about. We don't know the ins and outs of everything that's going on in this deal, but we do know that Sony is going to be putting a lot of their games on many devices out there. It's coming. We've been saying that for months, and people just didn't want to hear it. And
you know what? A lot of people did hear it. I gotta give some shout outs real quick. DJ, we got Salty in the chat, Lethal Papa as well. The T1000, when Noof was in the chat, others Inc. All you guys in the chat, thank you guys so much for rocking out with us once again. We've almost got 800 people watching already. If you could,
well,
just finger bang that like button for us. It really helps. And maybe hang on a second, Fonz, really, goddamn it. Maybe share this where you share things. Hit that like button. We do appreciate it. Let's try to get the 300 for the end of the show and 1,000 after the fact. Now, Fonz, what were you saying?
Okay. See, I wanted to finish my thought, but what I was saying is, you know, all this stuff. That's the biggest root of this issue is that a lot of these fanboys, and you know, it works across. It goes both ways. But these Sony guys right now, they're worried about their precious exclusives going to other devices, and it's ridiculous because in the end, this is the shit that's going to go down. It's going to happen eventually. This is the future. People, you know, gaming is moving towards cloud-based systems, cloud-based tech, streaming services. This is what this is what the business is going towards.
So you're saying it's been on the wall?
It's been on the wall.
Yeah, you're saying it's been in the job listings.
It's crazy. Like I don't personally care for streaming games, but there's always going to be a console solution there for the foreseeable future. So I'm not worried about it in the slightest, and I'm not worried if a PlayStation game goes to an Xbox or an Xbox goes to a PlayStation. I don't care.
But doesn't it make the game worse, Fonz, if it's on another platform?
Exactly. That's the thing. This perceived notion that, oh, somehow this game is better because it was only on the PlayStation is stupid.
It is.
It's dumb. I just like my games. I don't care where.
Matter of fact, Days Gone would have been better on PC. Frame rate would have been a lot better. You know, I like Days Gone, but I don't like that fucking frame rate.
You know who doesn't like Days Gone? Zucker.
No,
you know, he definitely doesn't like it. 7.3.
Yeah, what'd you give Sea of Thieves, Randy?
I gave it a 7, little bitch.
Yeah.
All right. Hang on. Holy shit, I'm behind. God, these super chats fly because the chat is on fire all the time. But Rand, you summed it up. There was a large chunk of the PlayStation division had no clue what was happening here. Jim Ryan is sitting there telling people don't play old games while he's selling you a PlayStation Now, making the deal to move everything over to Azure and kind of sort things out there. While not final, this deal is definitely going through. They're definitely going to start working together. That's why they made this announcement. They're very confident in this. And at the end of the day, gamers win. So if you're one of those that's downplaying this, if you're mad, you might want to think about that. So let's go ahead and move on. Zalker, can you go ahead and well, no, hang on. Actually, I'll go ahead and tackle this one. There is a new Xbox update that has just recently hit consoles that does improve several key aspects for the OS and UI, things like that. The friends list, you now have the ability to see what platform people are on. You also have a new message tab. Rand is a big fan of this one. Rand, you want to tell them what that one's all about?
Yeah, so I mean, I love seeing that Zalker's on PC. You know, it's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing. But no message. So lately, there's been, and I'm sure maybe some of you have seen this. I definitely have. Spam bots. People just message you, be like, I'm giving this a chance, or hey you, and they have a girl's picture but 0 gamer score, basically a new profile. And it's annoying, but Xbox created this subsection of your messages called message requests, which means anybody you don't follow will go into this like collection of messages where you can turn off notifications. So you can no longer get notified that you have these messages. You can just easily clear them all. Yeah. So I think it's a great feature. It's one way to get rid of the spam bot nonsense that's going on. Now, hopefully they can tune that and do the same thing for game invitations, because I don't like getting invited to Fortnite or Minecraft or any of that stuff. So maybe that'll be something they can do in the future.
Yeah. Ashtray in the super chat says Microsoft helped Apple in the past as well. That is absolutely true. You'd be surprised who these companies actually work with. They worked with Sega on the Dreamcast as well. Philly Eagle, he says, Okay. True ponies hate everything until Sony does it. Basically, they love it and completely plead the fifth that they hated on it. That is absolutely the truth. I could only imagine the amount of DMs and tweets that were deleted the day this happened. And I guess maybe some of you probably already snatched them up. Actually, there's a lot of good stuff out there. Tim knows.
But dealer, I was always told winners don't follow losers.
But here's the deal, though. If you're a dumb bitch thinking about only the install base of physical hardware, you obviously are a little bit behind the curve. You don't see why Sony themselves are moving to users. You don't see why you used to damage control and talk bad about how Xbox used to move to users, but we all know why that is now.
Yeah,
as you guys talked about, keeping track of hardware, it's not accurate. So they're going to users, and that's why. I mean, at the end of the day, Sony saw that Microsoft are ahead for the future. As everyone said, as Brad Sims has said, they can't compete with Azure. No matter how much they invest, they don't have the capital nor the time. And all while Microsoft is constantly investing, it's impossible for them to compete there. So you might as well join them, right, Rand?
How you guys gonna say this? Because from what I hear from some people on Twitter is that this whole xCloud thing was just a response to Stadia, as if Microsoft never has been building upon this network beforehand. Like it's ridiculous. Some of these people. Yeah. Oh yeah, some people are out there.
Who are you? What?
Who are you fighting?
You never seen you never seen these people say how Stadia shook Microsoft, and that's why they're talking about going big with
right because Microsoft stock went down when Stadia was announced, not Sony's. Okay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, it's just hilarious to me that some people out there think that Microsoft wasn't working on this for many years now.
Yeah. Hey, Eli in the super chat says, if Microsoft did this and used the servers for Sony guys, the shit talking would be insane.
Oh.
The ponies are quiet.
Imagine something like
they're
that.
Quiet because it's Sony. Yeah, that's absolutely true, Eli. You are 100% correct.
I mean,
very
it's
interesting.
nice to know that every game, or pretty much almost every game that's going to be bought under Sony's platform, a little bit of that money is going to go right into Microsoft's pocket.
Doesn't
that annoy a lot of people?
But hey, as long as they're putting that into games, I mean, then that's a good thing to me. Also, they got some games and apps. They got some games and apps changes as well. So if you're looking for The Witcher 3, for instance, it's not under the T's anymore. It's under the W's. It's kind of a hit or miss. Like A Way Out, I think, should be under the A's, but it's now under the W's. So, some of the things make sense, but some games are kind of, you might have to search for them a little bit more.
There's also a new feature in Skip Ahead, which gives estimated time to download or start when you actually download something as well. So it'll tell you based on the speed you're downloading, like this will be available in like an hour and 30 minutes too. So that's currently being tested out.
Yeah, and also there is a fix coming. Rain, you sent me this a while back. There's a fix in the preview program for video corruption issues. Like if you're watching one of my videos, one of Colt's, Rand's, whoever's, if it's 4K, sometimes it'll freeze and stutter, and there'll be green or purple lines across the screen. It's not your system. It's a system bug, and apparently not your hardware failing. It's a system bug, and apparently they are patching that in Netflix and YouTube, so they found a way to kind of get rid of that. I don't know when that's coming, though, Rand. Do you remember?
I don't know. Probably the next big update, whenever that's going to be. It definitely seems like they're doing smaller incremental changes. Do you guys remember what the dashboard looked like at launch 5 years ago or 6 years ago, and what it is now? How many changes and iterations they've gone through?
It's it's crazy mind-blowing that the dashboard has changed in this generation so much.
Remember you could change it all? Remember you could snap things and have like two different things run at the same time?
Yeah, so that's changed. They adopted the follower system like Xbox, and they also got that guide button friendless shit now. So
I don't think they had that
launch. They've come a long way for sure with the UI.
Yeah. Once again, though, with the Microsoft Sony deal, we have to reiterate that's a good thing. Like that's a good thing for gamers. Sony are now going to have a competitive we and it is kind of funny they're kind of using Microsoft to do that, but it is what it is. Like everyone that knew anything kind of knew that this was not really possible for
Stop hating on PlayStation, dealer.
Oh man. Rage 2 developers are looking to develop Rage 3 already, right? So that's kind of good news, though. There are some reports that Rage 2 did worse than Rage 1. So I think that's only in the UK and physical, right?
I would hope so.
And most
I would
people these days, like they're downloading stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really buy that. Rage 2 is a great game. I used a lot of that gameplay yesterday, I think. 18 games leaving Game Pass. Rand, I'm going to throw this one back at you so we can move on to some other better topics. But do you remember some of the notable ones here? We've got
Saints Row 4,
Yeah.
I believe, was one.
Saints Row 4, you got Devil May Cry. You
Devil
got
May
Lethal
Cry.
League.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything that was really noticeable, though. Aside from
Nothing like I would say too huge, but this is something that's going to constantly happen every single month in a subscription service. Games come in, games leave. DMC, Devil May Cry, a Ninja Theory game, that's been there since the launch of the service back in 2017. So, I mean, don't sleep on some of these games. If you want to play something, it's there. Play it, because who knows how long it'll actually remain in the service.
Yeah, and they're adding games next week. The Xbox Game Pass Twitter handle said that, hey, we're bringing out games next week. That is all. That's all they said. And people are like, cool.
That is
I have
all.
a question about that. So say you're playing a game in Game Pass and you've downloaded it and you're playing it. Once it's removed from Game Pass, is that download removed as well?
No,
No.
it'll say that if you try to
You
launch
just
it, it'll
lose
tell
access
you.
to it.
Yeah, it'll tell you need a license for this, so you have to just
Okay.
uninstall it.
Okay.
But
Or buy it.
they do give you like a pretty good window, like several weeks to buy the game. They tell you when it's leaving, and you do get a discount as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That one.
But people are
Yeah.
focusing on what the service is losing when there's like 200 games. So
I think
don't
it's
know.
kind of cool that they even have on the Xbox and the Game Pass section that games leaving soon. Like they actually show you. They don't hide anything. These are the games leaving soon. If you want to play them or buy them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I want to reiterate, because some of these people out there were running around, talking negatively about these games being gone off of the Game Pass storefront. But here's the thing, if you have Netflix or something and they pull shows, which they pull all the time, and when they do that, you have no way of accessing that show ever again. You can't buy that at a discount or anything. At least Microsoft is giving you that option.
You're
Hey,
right.
you want to continue to play it? you
Hey,
can buy that at
Timothy Clark said one of the smartest things I've seen in this chat ever. West Webb is a fraud. I agree. Thanks, Timothy. Where's Top Dog? That little bitch is hating lately. He's mad. He's mad. We ain't talked to him a little bit. He's
I've
not
talked
on speaking terms
to
with us
Top
no more.
Dog.
Yeah.
Top Dog is angry.
He's
Somebody hates
in
that
my
lady.
DMs. He's in my DMs still.
Oh man. Well, give him a bitch.
He always gives me a hit up, but he's shocked too. I just mess with him all the time. But
I
yeah,
know he is. He's always
He's
shocked.
shocked.
He's
No,
the guy that
he's
called
shocked.
Forza Motorsport 7 DLC, but took a 800 car loss with GT Sport. So I'm sure he's shocked when he wakes up. He's like, "What the fuck? Hair's growing out of my face. This is weird."
Dealer, you're asking about Top Dog, a guy in which he got L's every episode, so of course he stopped watching.
Where's the baby Azzo? Where's he?
I don't know.
he's mad.
Dealer, I just want to quickly mention that
Who blocked? Somebody said Top Dog got blocked. I didn't block Top Dog.
what? Who blocked
Yeah.
Top
I
Frog?
don't know. Lethal's killing people in the chat. I'm gonna flop you out of this chat if you don't stay. He's just
Oh,
fucking
man.
going off on
I'm
people.
gonna flop you out of this chat. West Webb, you gotta watch your ass.
Dealer, can I get a PSA?
Yeah.
You know how we have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate? Well, soon we'll have it, right? They opened it up to people in the beta ring on the Insider program. It was only open before the alpha and preview skip ahead. So now more people can get it. And if you can get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $1. And if you have a month of Game Pass, that's a month of Ultimate. A month of Gold is a month of Ultimate. So they combine the two. So you can actually stack up to 36 months, which I currently did for like super cheap. So you can get 3 years of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate if you're an insider up to the beta ring. So I would take advantage of that. You can get 3 years of Ultimate for insanely cheap right now.
It's not worth joining the
right now.
program to do that though.
How much you talking? Like in terms of money, how much?
How many quarters is that, Rand?
I mean, I spent $60 and I got Game Pass Ultimate for 3 years.
Wow. I'm doing it right now.
So
Shit.
Big Bass just like, hey, I got all these group music codes, man. You want one? He's trying to sell them like it's crack rocks or something. And then Microsoft is like, hey, we know you got those through illegitimate means. Can we have those back? And he's like, fuck. You remember that? That was before Groove died. But we do have to move on real quick. New Minecraft game Zucker, I know you were waiting for this. Minecraft Earth, the cell phone based phenomenon, is coming to you. I don't know when, but it's Pokemon Go with Minecraft. What do you think?
Sure. I mean, fuck. I don't know. I mean, I've never even played Pokemon Go. I don't really care for Minecraft, but I mean, I know a lot of people are looking forward to this. A couple people I've seen on Twitter talk about it, saying it's fucking cool and awesome. And I'm like, cool. If you like Minecraft, have at it, I guess. Walk around the world, build bridges, and then get hit by a goddamn car as you're crossing the street. I don't know what the hell. Like, people are just doing what they want. But we do have a question. Obi-Wan brought this up, and it kind of correlates with Minecraft.
Yeah, Obi-Wan.
He asked, when is the super duper 4K high texture update coming for the Xbox
I
One X?
talked to him about this earlier in a party, and I heard that they're working on ray tracing for Minecraft, and that might sound really dumb to some, but there are already mods out there on the PC, and there is a modded version of ray tracing. It actually looks really cool. Apparently, they have a team of like 8 people working on this Minecraft update. They're working with AMD because their ray tracing it works much differently than NVIDIA's does. So this is taking a long time, and I think that, along with the Forza Motorsport 8, will be the first ray tracing Xbox games that you'll hear about.
Hey, is there any word on Roblox? I'm asking for a friend.
Well, I don't, the ray tracing update, not sure.
Well, I actually saw the Minecraft in closed doors behind E3 2000. I think it was the one that you went to, Rand.
2016.
2016. They or it might have been 17 because they were showing. They were showing Atmos, I remember, but they showed Gears. No, it was 17. It had to be 17 because it was X. They showed Gears and they showed the Minecraft 4K pack with the lighting and everything that they were doing. I have to say, it'd be a real shame if they put that they're still not working on it, because it was really, really impressive.
Apparently, they are working on it for sure.
It's because I've heard that they stopped, but I would think that that's something that good. They might have just held back on it and said, "Yeah, let's just put ray tracing on to make it that much better." I mean, because it was impressive.
Tim,
like they had illumination off the blocks.
This is
like
the most popular game of all time now, right? 176 million copies sold. Minecraft, I think it just overtook Tetris, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is insane, considering how long Tetris has been around, right? And how many platforms it's been on. Minecraft is now, and Rand, correct me if I'm wrong, the biggest game ever made.
Pretty much. I mean, $175 million about to go on phone.
$1 million?
I mean, 175 million copies about to be on phone, so Zucker can fucking craft his penis building,
what the fuck is going on?
Not for the gutter, your mind would be homeless, sir.
Zucker always loves build dicks and like Rage 2 and stuff like that.
Rand, I'm gonna need you to buy me a drink first, bud.
I don't know if it's been a while since y'all been to Rand's channel, but things have changed.
Yeah, I feel betrayed by this bitch right now.
It's okay. I just gotta say, I'm just giving Zucker a hard time. He's my buddy. We talk all the time.
Man, you just did was you
build dicks and Rage too.
I'm taking a sip of water, and I'm like, what the fuck?
This guy
kind of a dick-shaped glass.
He just stole somebody else's shtick. That's what Rand was doing right now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Buster Palmer, he says, I saw a person walk into a pond playing Pokemon Go. What the people are walking around getting shanked and robbed while they're playing this game. So good luck to Minecraft Earth.
I don't remember that during Pokemon Go. People were getting like shot and killed and like walking into bad neighborhoods.
Yeah, into backyards.
And people are like, kids shouldn't go out. And it's like, oh my god,
kids shouldn't have cell phones. Hey, we gotta give a shout out to over 800 people watch this live, guys. Hit that like button. Maybe share this where you share things. We're just gonna try to get to 300 for the end of the show. 1,000 if you're watching after the fact. We do appreciate it. You know what? We got the best chat in the universe. I don't care what anybody says. Absolutely love all the engagement we get. It's fucking phenomenal. We don't keep it squeaky clean, but you know what? We're not a corporate podcast. We just have fun and talk about games, and we do appreciate everybody rocking out with us. So once again, Minecraft Earth, it's going to put a lot of people in the earth. We'll see how that goes. We want to move on to Skull and Bones delayed. Will not be at this E3. Is this still the Sea of Thieves killer, Zucker? Because
no,
you can't even get out of the damn boat.
No, you can't even get out of the boat. It's been delayed. People are just like, fuck it. I remember when Atlas or whatever, people were like, Sea of Thieves is dead. And then that game came out. People were like, this is fucking terrible.
Atlas is dead.
Atlas is dead. And Sea of Thieves is just sitting there like, oh, here's an awesome update everybody's fucking loving. Man, people, nothing's gonna kill Sea of Thieves. So shut the fuck up, enjoy it, play it, and fucking enjoy one of the best games. One of the best new IPs to come out in a while. I fucking love the game. I don't care. Y'all can talk shit. I don't give a shit. I just got told I build dicks for a living. I don't want to hear shit. I'm gonna say what I
mean, I ain't judging you. You build bridges, build dicks. I don't care.
Like who asked for Skull and Bones anyway? I mean, it's seriously a pirate game. Do we really need another pirate game? We already saw what we got with this other pirate game that Zocker's in love with, but damn, another one.
Shit,
Oh.
The only thing that matters out of this whole Ubisoft stuff is the fact that there's no freaking Splinter Cell. Is that on the topic list, dealer? Because it better be.
No, go ahead and talk about it.
They fucking made a stupid ass joke on Twitter. Like so the creative director of Division 2 literally last week puts out a tweet like, working on Splinter Cell with such and such, and the internet explodes because we've been demanding a new Splinter Cell. I've been, yes.
It's the
one franchise people have been asking for from Ubisoft, right? Like, can we cut down on Assassin's Creed? Can we please throw a bone to the fans? Give us a Splinter Cell. But it was a joke. It was a troll from Ubisoft because inside Ubisoft, especially in the creative directors, there is no Splinter Cell being made. So it's a giant joke to them.
That's the game.
Is that what you heard? Is that what you heard, or is that?
Yeah, I've heard from 3 different people now. There's no Splinter Cell being made. It was,
but there was
a
Splinter Cell being made though.
There was. My friend played it for quite some bit, but it was canceled in favor of Starlink Battle for Atlas.
Holy shit! What a great decision.
They're having trouble trying to get Splinter Cell into the modern age of how Ubisoft makes games, which is an open world games as a service title.
Just go to a fort and stealth murk everybody over.
Yeah. Wow. So no Splinter Cell. Which is entirely disappointing. And as a joke, it's not funny. I didn't get the punchline.
Sell the IP.
Rand was really upset. He really was. Like when he saw that joke, I saw him bring out the night goggles and he had a skin tight little scuba diving suit on, and he was like, "It's happening." And I'm like, "Relax, Rand. It's a joke." And
well, Rand has been that was part of your predictions like the last 2 years, right?
Like motherfucker.
I kind of fall off on that. There's no Splinter Cell and.
You wanted it for 2 years. I remember you talking about it 2 years ago. Like, this is the year.
This is the year, Tim. I know. I mean, I literally know somebody who's played the game for Christ's sake, and they canceled it in favor of Starlink.
Kid Smooth says it's Tetris at 500 million. Like, Rand, are you frauding? Did you tell me the wrong information?
I don't know. Tetris is insanely.
What do you mean you don't know? I asked the man with $1 million if he knew. And
I'm only the man with $1 million sticks, dude.
Okay.
It wasn't about a Barbie game. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Shout out to Kid Smooth as well. We got to have him back on the show, and this time his internet hopefully doesn't explode. But yeah, I mean, Splinter Cell.
No. Tetris is number 2 right now, Mr. Smooth. 70 million. Minecraft number 1.
Where did you pull 500 million from, Smooth? Like, I gotta ask you. He said, "Fuck it, 500 million sounds good."
Oh my god!
Does anybody have 600 million?
There's the link.
But yeah, so Minecraft is the biggest game of all time right now, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. They bought that for 2.3 billion, right? So that's kind of big bucks there. Hey, Fonz, real quick, give the people an update on Red Dead Redemption, both the ambient occlusion and HDR stuff, real quick, before we jump into some really good topics.
So, they pulled the ambient occlusion off of the game. Well, that was put back in.
Okay, you're skipping ahead. Tell people what happened with the HDR at launch.
Oh, the HDR. Yeah, back, last year when they launched the game with so-called HDR, we found out that it wasn't true HDR. And I believe I was one of the first people to even see the problem and put it out there. And what do you know?
You don't know what HDR looks like, fraud?
Oh, I got all kinds of hate and all this stuff. I didn't know what it looked like. I'm an idiot. I don't know what HDR is and all this stuff. And the very next day after I was complaining, all these articles started leaking online, talking about it and confirming and validating my point that yes, it was broken. And there is an update. So this update gives you not only what they're calling the original HDR cinematic HDR mode, they're giving you a game HDR mode. And I implore you, if you're going to play this game, if you haven't already, you're waiting for the HDR, now's the time. Use the game HDR mode. Do not use that cinematic mode, which defaults to cinematic, by the way. The original broken HDR, I don't understand why they left it there, but it's there. But the game HDR mode, I was doing some testing last night. I pulled my D. I'm pulling your stick here. Okay, D? I'm stealing it from you. So I was checking out the HDR, and it looks much improved. The luminance is much better, and based on your TV, you'll be able to set your nits a lot higher, and it actually goes above 400 nits now.
I would say it qualifies as legitimate HDR, though. Like we talked about last night, it's not perfect. Right.
No, it's pretty legitimate because you have the paper white balance that you can put on there, and of course the peakness.
I think the tone mapping is the issue now, though. They said it's much better, but it is real HDR now, but it's still got some.
Well, the tone mapping is still the basic tone mapping they had from the beginning, and that was the initial problem. It's got elevated black levels. You know what I'm saying? From the when they tried to originally do the HDR, but they've tweaked it enough now to where the black levels are not elevated. It looks good, but it still desaturates the whole image. So if you're going from SDR to the HDR, you'll see a little less color. But in my opinion, honestly, and I've switched A and B last night, the SDR is oversaturated anyway. It looks really phenomenal. It looks really good now.
Hey, Jesse Derby, man, don't worry about it, brother. It's no big deal at all, man. So, thank you so much, man, for contributing. We do appreciate it. But yeah, if you're a Red Dead fan, apparently they accidentally removed the ambient occlusion, and that is now supposed to be back in the game, plus actual HDR. So if you haven't tried it in a while, go ahead and give it a whack. We've got some PS5 showcasing D-Batch, and you haven't spoken much, but I want your take on this. Sony in Japan showing performance differences between PS4 Pro and the PlayStation 5 SSD. This is a real thing. I just did a video today. The source is linked there. This is real. PlayStation, they're showing off the SSD power of the PS5, and it is damn impressive. Explain the difference between the 5400 RPM and the SSD through the city and all the load times and all that.
Well, basically a solid state hard drive, it's a lot less load time, right? So it can take everything off the hard drive and pretty much stream it in real time. And I saw the demonstration, and you could see when they were running on the PS4 Pro that every so often it would chug and would load in the assets, load in, and then go again and repeat itself. Like
chug, that's like a fucking, it froze. Like that bitch is like, nope.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then when they applied the SSD on the next generation PlayStation, it just streamed all the way through. And I actually was really impressed with that. All I could think about was the elimination of popping. If there's one thing that I hate in games, it's popping. It just takes the immersion away from you when you see that pop and you realize, yeah, I'm playing a video game. And with that technology, they could essentially really lower the rate of popping. But at the same time, I'm kind of confused why they're really touting this as a next generation feature. They're
going to market the PlayStation 5 on this.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because this is nothing really new, to be honest with you. And I don't
console guys, you got to admit, D, this is massive.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, for console guys.
I got to explain this to people because people are trying to downplay this. This is good. You should be happy because Xbox are doing this as well. So if you watch my PlayStation 5 video that's up on the channel now, look at that and say, wow, I'm going to get that kind of stuff on Xbox. It's one of the reasons I talk about PlayStation 5. They're on the same coin, just opposite sides. With the PS5 and the SSD there, people are saying, well, what about next generation games? They're going to be bogged down. They're going to be trying to run things 4K plus and all this stuff. Trust me, it is going to be night and day no matter what. On the PC, I mean, I fucked around with texture packs that are 50, 60 gigs by themselves. You're talking about, massive 4K texture packs, and these SSDs load this shit in a snap. Like it's definitely going to be a leap. No matter how high a fidelity you think these games are going to be, you're going to actually see indicative performance. That kind of streaming is going to be nice.
And also the load times are definitely going to be cut down. You're going to see much lower load times when you're going into a new section. Like I would say maybe like 5 seconds to load into a game probably.
Hell yeah. I mean, what was that, Tim? What did you hear about the Xbox, next Xbox dev kit boot times, right?
Yeah, 3 seconds to your game, right off a boot. So basically, off a cold boot. So you basically turn your thing on and you're in your interface. There's no loading. You're just right there and you're ready to go. You could send party invites. If you get invite at that second, it'll come up right away, popped up. You can answer it right away.
Today's system, right?
Yeah, it's a lot longer. So I think it's rumored to be NVMe ME. I think you guys know it better than me. I think it's
M.2,
rumored. Yeah. So they're probably going to be using the same thing. But this is new for consoles. We're not used to this, so it is kind of a next generation thing for consoles. 100%.
I'm so excited for console gamers for the next generation. 60 frames per second should be the freaking norm, man. Lower load times, assets, loading in, like pop in, less pop in. Let's just looking really, really great, man.
I really, if you're worried that this is a PC or that it's really not going to be this great on next gen games, trust me, you're gonna see this kind of stuff. We've heard things about the Xbox behind the scenes that we're like, holy shit, like they're really shooting for this kind of stuff. Phil Spencer referencing himself. He said boot times, the performance, the number one thing he's going to be working on. Sony said that this SSD will basically bring extraordinary improvements to rendering speeds, and that compatibility will be a really critical factor. They are really trying to make this thing work. Now, question is, and I brought this up on the podcast, it's probably one of the first people talking about this, why spend all this money on this big, expensive hard drive relative to alternatives, right? When most likely you're going to fill that bitch up and you're going to be running a lot of games off of an external hard drive, right? And the answer is, hey, you're going to have slower load times there. There's no getting around it. You can upgrade to an SSD. I'm sure they'll have at least USB 3.1, which I do believe has read speeds of like 300 megabytes per second. Could be wrong. But even on my SSD now on the Xbox One X, it's dramatically faster, like way faster. Like Horizon 4, it's almost criminal how badly that game boots up and how it freezes in the main menu for like a good 10 seconds or more just to get into the game. And you got to wait another 30 seconds to get your rumble back. With an SSD, it is all instant. I have rumbled the second I get into the game. That's all the hard drive just it's trying to catch up, all that's gonna be fixed.
That's my two biggest wants for next gen is A, 60 frames on most of these games, if not all. Hopefully there's a mode. And B, I really want better performance. I want load times to be cut in half, man, or more than half. Because some of these games, man, like you said with Forza, there's games like, Days Gone. I played Days Gone. The load time in there can be horrendous at times when you're first booting up. Metro Exodus had some pretty bad load times. A lot of these games coming out that are demanding just have terrible load times, and this is one of the things I'm hoping for next year.
Well, it's the first time, like this generation, we've gone from, think about it, from 2013 to now, games have improved so much. They've gotten bigger, they've gotten a lot more detail, they take a lot longer to load, and I feel very confident in Sony and Xbox that they're actually taking time and bringing balance on the system.
Yeah.
Right. We talked about the CPU, the GPU, and now we're talking about the SSD that can load everything that we're talking about. Like, I feel like we're going to get completely different gaming experiences with these, because that's something that Mark Cerny, when he in April, when he basically announced some of the specs of the PS5, he said the reason why Spider-Man traverses that way and he has a top speed is because we can't load the world in fast enough.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that's awesome.
All these games are, graphically demanding, I understand. And they're going to push that next generation as well. There's going to be graphics that are pushed even beyond what we see now. So I was talking to Dealer about this, and Dealer, if you can explain to people, like, because they're going to push these graphics in the future on these titles and stuff, what is that going to do with the load times, though? Is that going to offset it? Is it going to be the same as we're getting now, or are these SSD, is this going to really...
You mean, like, is fidelity going to improve to such an extent that these SSDs are going to give you like no benefit or a very small benefit? No. They would have to, no way. So, I mean, for one, I would like to offer a theory as to how they would solve this internal SSD problem real quick. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of people saying this once again, after I fucking talk about this, some kind of partition with the SSD inside the console. Maybe use it as some kind of super quick cache. No matter what game you're playing, it somehow uses the SSD partition. So you don't always have to have the game installed in the internal, but it'll be running. It'll be like a RAM disk for the actual game that'll load into the RAM and, be shot onto the screen. That could be kind of a way they could get around this. But will they do it, D-Batch? I don't know.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to say the same thing. I think definitely they're going to do that, because you're right. A lot of people do have external storages, and it would defeat the whole purpose of a solid state drive inside the system. So I think they will have a part partitioned off, and they'll use that to cache the assets coming in. So you'll have a little bit of a longer load time when you're using an external, but it'll load parts of it into the cache, and you'll still get the benefits of the solid state drive.
I do that right now with my PC. Depending on what programs I use the most, those load in a lot quicker than others. And I mean a lot quicker. Like games
Xbox One
that I
does
play.
it as well. Xbox One X actually uses the additional RAM not used by unpatched games as a RAM disk as well. And hey, I got to give a shout out to almost 900 people. We're getting up there to 850 people right now, guys. If you're here, if you're watching, hit that like button. Let's try to hit let's shoot for 400. We're already past our goal. We do appreciate it. Maybe share this where you share things. You guys are absolutely fantastic. The best ever. Element of PO says, anybody else playing a Plague's Tale besides Rand? He bought it based off of the review. Awesome game. I plan on going to that next.
You better, you fraud.
Isn't that a rumored studio, Rand, that Microsoft could be interested in acquiring?
Yeah, it's been rumored for quite some time. Asobo, IO Interactive, Relic. Who knows? Who knows what Microsoft has up their sleeve? But Sony, yesterday, they said they're going to grow too.
I saw that. Organic They said organic and acquisitions.
So Sony might be Microsoft. Phil, if you're listening, you better cut them checks now and get these studios because Sony's going to be in the game, Google's going to be in the game,
and Sony know what Microsoft are doing. That's one of the reasons they're definitely trying to get more studios.
You don't want to get into a bidding war, and I know budgets are a little bit tight now. The end of the fiscal year is coming up soon for Microsoft. I believe theirs ends at the end of June, so I'm sure budgets are super tight. But if IO Interactive, maybe you want to throw them. You get it done, Phil. Just get it done. I need more studios.
Honestly, chat, let us know. What game would you have IO Interactive actually make? Because I don't remember the last fucking thing they've ever made besides Hitman.
I don't think IO Interactive's happening regardless anyways, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that acquisition. Hitman is...
How dare you, D? How dare you?
Hitman's a good game, but it's not worth the Microsoft.
Yeah, you talking shit. Is that what you're doing?
Well, I like Hitman, but I'm just being honest. They're not worth the acquisition.
You didn't like Kane and Lynch?
Well, the latest I heard on IO is they're out. So I heard the Killabra was talking about it. They hired some
business manager, business partner.
Yeah, business partner. So that they might be out. But I think if we don't get acquisitions at E3, you'll get them at XO19. They're definitely in talks with some people.
A Mr. Buster Palmer once again says, I think it's funny all these ponies think the Anaconda won't have an SSD. I did not know that. That's insane. Also, do you think that we will actually be able to choose the hard drive storage? As some kind of customization thing? I don't know about that, but the fact that they would think the Anaconda is something that's already been leaked over and over and over by pretty reliable sources to be faster than the PS5 in every way would not also have an SSD, and it supposedly might be more expensive as well. Just mute those people and move on, man.
Dude, I watched that video, and I think you did a video, I did a video, Zocker did a video about the load times. Dude, I need that for next gen, man. Just think, I got done playing Days Gone 50 hours, and I sat through all that loading nonsense in that game. And it's it made me think, maybe I should have waited to play that game on the PlayStation 5. Seeing Spider-Man load in less than a single second when it took 8 seconds on the Pro. And then imagining all the time you could potentially save and all these games, getting into your games quicker. It's one of the things.
The multitasking. If you're multitasking in current consoles, I try to record clips on the Pro, and if they don't corrupt, right, if they even work, the whole game is bogging down. The OS is bogging down. It's taking 1,000 years for me to be able to hit triangle or whatever to capture it. That would be so much easier. Multitasking, you'd feel it in the OS, you'd feel it in the load times. There'd be a lot going on there.
It's next gen's almost here. You can almost taste it. Better resolutions, better performance with frame rates, faster load times. It seems like the beginning in this upcoming gen is going to be way better than the beginning of this gen currently. When Call of Duty Ghost, it's a blurry 720p. You can't see the fish.
We're giving the PS4 version the edge, even though both of them were 720p. It didn't get their day one patch. Raised up 1080p. King Ram says IO could make Splinter Cell, but as they just said, IO apparently isn't going to be a thing. Pillbox Gaming, what's going on, brother? He said, I just want to say that I love how Fonz and Zucker are great friends. LOL, awesome show. They really are. They really do. We all kind of, that's the thing. There's chemistry because you spend time at parties, you play games together. I think that's kind of important. So these guys, we all go back and forth and fuck with each other a lot.
I'm only here because I hear dealers talking shit about me behind my back all the time.
I can't confirm, bitch.
I loved how he came back and tried to play the victim. I can't believe this. You
from the likes of you.
And I linked a long ass source that doesn't even mention anything I just said, but you're gonna have to all of it.
You irrelevant fuck.
You irrelevant. Wow.
Hey, Rand, just say it's video games. Like, really, grow up, okay? I don't know how old, some of these guys are, but I know you're at least in your 30s. Grow up. It's not a big deal.
Hey, you know what? I'm definitely not the boss of anybody, but I will call out a lying bitch. So hopefully people get used to that.
What dealer? You're not the boss of all gaming? What?
No, not all gaming. Just the Engage, and we all know how that ended up.
Permission to speak, boss?
Yeah,
Yes, go ahead.
Rand, don't come into the chat room at 3:00 in the morning, because at that point it becomes a 6 a.m. Chat.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kill you that day, just so you know.
Hey, dealer's the one that sent me the party invite.
Yeah, I had to get you off that PC, Rand. Fucking fraud.
Yeah.
Oh.
Doctor's not a fraud.
Oh, yeah.
Doctor's on the PC all day, all night.
Hey, Rand, what is this thing with these? Real quick, before we jump back into like the biggest topic of the show, what is this thing with these people saying these console guys really suck at games? They can't even get past the raid and division. PC guys did it in an hour.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I saw that someone actually finally beat it on console after 37 hours. But from my understanding, it has to do with the hitboxes on PC versus Xbox, the frame rate differences, 60 on PC, 30 on console, the input lag versus both. And so it was just extremely difficult for console players to do what they needed to do. Like, people knew how to they know how to like beat the puzzle or beat the guy, right? But they were like, the mechanics were just limited. They just weren't reacting fast enough, and that's because of how the console stuff is implemented versus PC. Like, PC people, first group beat it in 5 hours. People clear that stuff now in 45 minutes, and console takes 37 hours. So something is completely screwed up,
Fucking
Yeah, it's
peasants.
almost like it's way easier on PC with mouse and keyboard.
Imagine that.
That and the 60 frames per second makes a big difference, man.
Yeah, it really does. But hey, that's the Division 2 thing. You got guys trying to spin this and talking about people on console just suck at games. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. God of War hits 10 million sales. Well deserved. I don't want to stay on this long, but if you haven't played God of War, Lethal, you need to go play this.
God
It's
damn.
important.
Wait, Lethal hasn't played it yet?
Lethal hasn't played it yet. He has carved his way through a lot of these games. He's saving Spider-Man and God of War for I don't know, some magical occasion.
Continue to save that Spider-Man. Go ahead and play that God of War.
No, play Spider-Man.
No, God of
Spider-Man's
War first.
good.
God of War is amazing.
Hey, Jack Trenton says, look, Sony, you're dealing with some serious competition next generation. You may want to put on some nice pants and put on some, but you know what? The cardboard armor I sent D in the GIF earlier. You want to put that shit on. and you got to be aware that Google, Amazon, Microsoft, everybody's coming for you. And this generation, he sees it. Jack Trenton, CEO, ex-CEO or whatever, American boss of Sony, sees it on the wall. Microsoft have invested. They're ready to go. Next gen, you're going to have far more competition from everybody. I mean, hell, Tim, what did you take away from Jack's statements here?
Pretty much on target. They are in well positioned, I think, now to, kind of keep what they've earned this gen. It's going to hard to be taking them out. I still think they probably will be number one in where they go around. But they well position themselves, I think, with the deal with Microsoft, because that just keeps them up with the Joneses. It keeps them, everything part of their system is good. They got obviously the games, they're going to have the hardware, and they're going to have the cloud. So they're in well position. I have to say the move with Microsoft really impressed me as far as, them as a company. They got it. They could not go into this gen thinking that they could not have a cloud solution.
You see all this shit talking in the chat. Come on. God of War was a good game, guys.
God of War.
God of War. God of War. God of 30 FPS. I mean, even if it is overrated, it's still better than shit we've gotten in a long time.
Ain't nothing overrated about God of War.
No,
God of War is a better game than any exclusive on Xbox this year.
Well, I mean, that's not.
Oh,
even
yeah, that's
That's a game of the
true.
year. I think. Yeah, that's true.
game
You
of
need
the
to fucking
generation.
take that back, dude. All right. Super Lucky Tail's legit.
Ooh, this man.
Whiplash edition. But yeah, I mean, the chat's kidding. I know. I'm playing back. All right, it's okay. Data war. So, hey, Doctor, I want you to go through and read this big E3 leak, this big list for me, will you? I'll give you a second setup for me. I'll give you a second setup.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
So we have there
So,
apparently is going to be a
explain
Halo. Yeah, so there's a big leak that happened. Some guy put it out that there's this big, he has like the whole conference basically mapped out for this Xbox E3, and he basically said they're going to start off with like Halo Infinite trailer, and it's going to be a holiday 2020, release.
So essentially, he's saying that he is leaking the entire press conference right now.
Yeah, one of these comes out every year. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then he said there's going to be a Gears 5 walkthrough / multiplayer with a September release, and then one of my most anticipated games says there's going to be Gears Tactics. There's going to be a trailer and a 2019 release date for PC, which I don't
real quick, Randall Thor, is it safe to say that you may see this on Xbox in the future?
Yes, but I don't think you'll see it day and date with the PC version.
No, and I just said this yesterday against Stuart Little in the chat yesterday was riding my sack, and over we kind of talked about Gears of War tactics coming to Xbox, just not day and date, and we're definitely confident that's happening. So if you're upset that Gears isn't coming to Xbox day one, just rest assured that it should come to the Xbox day one. But
it should.
And
Absolutely. There's no reason why it shouldn't be. I know they want to throw a bone to the PC nerds
I think they
out
said
there.
we need to balance each one separately or some shit, but just don't let them play against each other if that's the case, right?
Because they want to throw a bone to the PC nerds because they feel because they feel that Halo Wars 2
D.
So so the story behind this
exclusive, right?
No, the story behind this is they felt Halo Wars 2 suffered from being seen as a console game. So the PC crowd didn't buy it because it was too simplified, and they want to avoid that with Gears Tactics, which is made for the PC. So that's why the Xbox release will come after. So they want to assure the PC nerds that no, it's hardcore and the controls and all that stuff. Good for you.
Game Bread, thank you so much, sir. He says nothing to say this time. Just want to support the podcast. Keep up the good content here. Thank you so much, sir. Game Bread, that's a good name.
Why couldn't
Ronnie Williams as well, man? Thanks.
Why couldn't it just be viewed as a good game? This Gears Tactics, and just be put out day and date on both.
I agree with you, Fonz, and I've given my feedback about that. That if a game is on PC, it should be on Xbox right alongside of it. Like, there's no reason not, especially when you have keyboard and mouse support.
But they're not gonna have. They have to have something. They're not gonna have games that are gonna have keyboard and mouse support and no controller support. They're not gonna split it. Yeah. I thought because they won't, because they're gonna just have, if the games that they're gonna sell are gonna have a console.
Yeah, controller.
Controller. Yeah.
Tim, this is a company that literally sold games that required a Kinect to use and not a controller. So, like, the idea that it has,
but they're not going to have you're not going to be able to buy a game that's only keyboard and mouse on Xbox.
Well, I don't think that's happening.
I've
been told that too, but it's stupid considering they sold games that you needed Kinect for.
You know what, Rand?
I agree. I'm not disagreeing you.
Well, the Kinect was a success. Like, let's not the
Kinect was a success, but not on the Xbox. So why repeat their mistakes and put it like, oh, you only have mouse and keyboard?
Even PlayStation sells games that require PSVR. So, like, the idea that, like, well, we're not going to sell games because you need a controller. It's like, all you need is a disclaimer in the store, like, requires keyboard and mouse, and you're perfectly good. I don't get it.
It just seems like to me that the version on Xbox for Gears Tactics was an afterthought. Like,
the team is not that big, and they can only do one port at a time.
And that's more of it. And
we've seen that before.
I've heard that it's coming. Definitely, it's just a matter of time.
Hang on. Jay Blaze says, will there be a customer Gears 5? Okay, I'm guessing you mean custom Gears 5 Xbox coming. There damn well better be. I've had every single Gears of War Xbox. I got the Gears 3 360. I got the Gears 4 Xbox One S, and I will probably, well, no, because I'm not buying another X with the next Xbox coming next year. But I will want to buy the Gears 5 one. Rand, do you think that's coming?
99.9%. Yes.
Yeah. It better look badass too. I
Gonna
really
be
like
a
it.
better
fucking-
be.
We're gonna be sitting at a party at 2 a.m. Dealer's gonna sit there quiet. He's like, I just bought it. Fuck. And that's what's gonna fucking happen.
Hey, people, like I said before, motherfuckers are like, oh my God, you bought an SSD? That's expensive. And they're swimming around the room full of controllers. Like, all right, I made a good investment. That SSD does work every single time I play a game. Like, I don't need 50 controllers, right? So I feel like I spent my money very smartly, very intelligently here. But at the end of the day, let's go ahead and kind of continue with those leaks. Gears Tactics, definitely coming to Xbox at a later date. Mark it down.
Yeah, and then it goes on to Ori 2 with the final trailer in 2019 release. Ninja Theory's games. I don't know.
What's the deal there? There's kind of conflicting reports, Rand. There's this Bleeding Edge one, which kind of seems like part of what has kind of been out there that might be more accurate, but not, right? First and foremost, you got to start off with this is the B team. This isn't the Hellblade team.
So
This is a different team.
yeah, this is the team that when Microsoft purchased Hellblade, or when they purchased Ninja Theory, there was another team that were working on a game at the same time they put out Hellblade, because they had like 4 teams that are doing stuff. So this is a game that is close to release. It's supposed to be releasing next year. I believe Zalker and I both did videos about this. Even Fonz. There was a Reddit leak talking about it's a 4-player co-op sci-fi game or whatever. I've heard.
But is Microsoft forcing them to do this? I mean, multiplayer co-op? What?
Of course, they're forcing them.
I don't
6 years
know.
ago.
Yeah, I've heard there's a multiplayer component, like versus, like it's a melee combat, arena brawler. I'm not sure if that's just like the multiplayer portion of the single player or if it's the only thing. We'll find out in like 3 weeks. But yeah, I wouldn't really expect a Hellblade like, cinematic story-driven game on this one.
And expect that narrative coming from the opposition, I'll say, on the other side, the fanboys. They will say, oh, so, Microsoft made them make a game like this. But
Fonz, those people
ridiculous. They've been working on this game for 6 years. I just got to put that out there.
But Fonz, those people say E3 is irrelevant. So anything that Microsoft does at E3 doesn't matter.
Year they loved E3, right?
Well, yeah, next year they'll love it because Sony will be there again.
And it'll be relevant.
Well, what if Sony moved to the Detroit Auto Show? Did you ever think about that?
No. No.
I didn't think so, Rand. You need to get your head out of the clouds.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Well, at the end of the day, Zalker, you can kind of continue. Hellblade, that team is a ways off. Expect this other game they've been working on for quite a while to be team, and we'll see how that ends up.
Yeah, so we have the Outer Worlds with a new trailer and release date. The big one that probably everybody's waiting for, Cyberpunk 2077, is going to be showcased with a new trailer and a target date. We have new Age of Empires 2020 release. Fuck yeah. New Fable reveal. It's going to be a full reboot by Playgrounds, I assume. And then Sea of Thieves content update. Fuck yeah.
What do you think they're bringing, Zalker, to Sea of Thieves? What's
Dolphin.
next?
More tall tales, but I think they've even said, and hopefully a dolphin for your fucking ass. And then honestly, they said that it's going to be a lot easier to make tall tale content and better content for it since they have the foundation down. So I'm looking forward to that. We have a Battletoads debut, final release target, and maybe delayed.
When that's supposed to come out this year, Rand?
That's what it said at the E3 trailer last year, 2019, but I don't think it's coming this year.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it is. I mean, they haven't talked about it, nothing. I mean, who knows? Maybe it will.
Which isn't in that leak, but I just put that in there because we talked about that before. Possibly delayed, but it's Battletoads. Fonz, I'm sorry. I know you're looking forward to this game, but
Battletoads. Why? I don't know why. I don't know why people are looking forward to this game, but okay.
And then we have Project X Cloud with Sean Layden coming out on stage to bow down. Dates / rollouts, big push about X Cloud. I'm just joking, people, about the Sean Layden. Next gen Xboxes reveal.
You never know. Sean Layden might come out and be like, "Hey, kind of working with
How you guys doing?"
Hey,
yeah. We just fired the whole Guy Kaiser people. No, then they have the similar to, it's going to be basically the Xbox Next Gen reveal is going to be similar to 2016, where they kind of talk about the specs a little bit and all that, and then show the console probably next year.
Oh, you're saying with the next Xbox? Well,
yeah,
they're actually going to do like what they did with the Xbox One X, and they're going to come out and they're going to preemptively suck the wind right out of Sony sales by saying, "Hey, we got the most powerful box over here. You fucking with power, you're fucking with us. Do you fuck with the war? So basically, they're going to reveal all that at E3 potentially. We know they're going to say something, right? I mean, Tim, what are the odds they don't say something, especially after saying it last year?
0. They're 100% saying. The only question is how much they're going to talk about it. Are they going to give full specs, or are they just going to say we're the most powerful and we're going to be the most affordable?
Some people are worried that if they give full specs, Sony can magically fucking smack their chips with magic wands and change everything. That's not happening.
Yeah, if you follow console development, you'll know that when you're in your last year of development, you cannot make changes. Everything is set. Everything is going. It's not like you can say, "Hey, let's just make it 2 more teraflops."
It takes a couple years to R&D this.
Yeah, exactly. And they're well within the process right now. So, aside from your disk drive and either taking it out or changing it, there's not much you can change to your build at this point going forward. And I think that's what Microsoft knows, and I think that's why that they're going to tout power and affordability, 2 types of gamers, and they're gonna, I wonder if they say the specs.
I think they will. I think they'll loosely say the specs, to be honest with you. I think that part of the leak could be accurate, where they're kind of short, like how they did with the X, like how many teraflops it'll have and whatnot. They'll probably announce the SSD on it. I don't think we'll see it because we are still a year away, a little bit over a year away. So I think we will get loose specs because Navi is expected to be announced later on this month. If it's not announced next week, then it's going to be announced at E3 because AMD's at E3. So it would kind of tie in with Microsoft's next generation console. So it makes sense that they'd let us know some of the specs.
I'm not even sure they're going to even talk about Lockhart. Because when you actually sit down and think about it, if you can't talk about pricing of the consoles, there's no reason to even bring up Lockhart. In my mind, you only talk about Anaconda. And then next year, when you actually can show the box and you can talk about the price, then you mention how you have one. Because there's nothing to really talk about this far out with the system that's going to be not as good as Anaconda, as the premium one, or as good as the PlayStation 5. So it's like, I can see them literally just talking about Anaconda.
All they need to do is put out there that we have the fastest box and maybe demonstrate, something that Sony, double down on what Sony have already showed. We're going to have those load times too. Hang on, West Webb has something very important to say. He feels like feeling really stupid. I just want to remind you, West Webb, and I know you're just a little bitch ass troll. I play. We play games. The Nintendo Wii crushed everything last generation, bud. It destroyed everything, and you probably didn't enjoy your PS3 or 360 any less back then, did you? So really, the NPD thing, that's an old argument, bud. We're all moving forward. You're on the side of the interstate naked. You're one of those guys. So Rand, you're right. You're absolutely right. They should focus on that and kind of claim the benchmark, and that's all they got to do, man. Just like with the Xbox One X, we will have the fastest kit. Don't worry about what these motherfuckers are doing. We got it.
I just want to know, why's he got to be naked on the interstate?
Me too.
It's kind of it's a long story. West Webb's a weird guy, and I shit you not. When Xbox One X, before it was revealed, I was making videos back then. West Webb is in every single comment section. 5 + 7 is 5 million pixels. PlayStation's better, right? The second Xbox One X was announced to be faster, this motherfucker disappeared. An account called EastWeb that was blue popped up and said, "Who cares about power? It's all about the games." I am not lying about that. West Webb, I know you're EastWeb. You ain't fooling nobody. So,
oh man, what a plot
sales!
twist.
You might as well make another account, change it to red, Northweb, and talk about sales. Fuck.
You mean Southweb?
Whatever, NPD web. I don't give a shit.
He's naked web.
I am not making up that naked web.
Naked on the interstate.
Don't go near a playground web. Change it to anything you want.
That's pretty bad if you're naked on the interstate. Thinking about it, I'm picturing it.
But Tim, don't picture that right now.
Relax.
Shout out to you, buddy. We do kind of give you shit. We gave Top Dog shit. Apparently, he had too much. He couldn't take it. But you do stick around. You have a good time with us. We do appreciate that. But Zachary, is there anything else? I mean, they're going to unveil the next Xbox, or at least talk about it in the way that they did do with the Xbox One X. Is there anything else there?
Yeah, there's going to be apparently a new Mech Assault.
Whoa. You need to read what he said before that. This is my problem with this leak.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
I can't read it. I just have from what he
So he has it listed in sections, dealer. a section called 100% chance of happening, which is all the stuff Zalker just read, which anybody could say and predict because it's been like everybody knows Halo Infinite and Gears 5 are going to be at the show, and so's Ori. Anybody with the brain can say that. Fable's been rumored for 2 years, right? And then he has another section like a high chance of happening. So you're telling me more than likely it's not going to happen, but you're just covering your ass by saying that. Okay. And then he has a section at the end, a small chance of happening. Either you know the entire briefing or you fucking don't.
Well, here's the thing. Did you mention in that 100% there, did you mention Cyberpunk?
Yeah, I mean, Cyberpunk. Okay. I know Cyberpunk.
But
I mean, I know a whole bunch of games that are there. I mean, does this guy see? I was looking at this list. I'm like, let's see if there's any information because I know certain things about certain games that are going to be there, and none of it was new. I mean, hell, the Dino Crisis thing has been rumored even by GameStop. This isn't any actual new information presented by the dude, but it's being paraded around by all these different websites that it's true, right? Like, I wanted to see some actual like, well, is Rocksteady's game going to be there? Because nobody's said. How about George R.R. Martin and From Software's collaboration that is going to be at Xbox's show? Is that going to be there?
We had a question about that actually. Can you kind of run that by people real quick? What's going on with George R.R. bad last season of Game of Thrones?
So a couple months ago, YouTuber by the name Spawnwave did a video saying that From Software was collaborating with George R.R. Martin on their next game. And a lot of people are like, yeah, right. But as a lot of people know, Game of Thrones finally ended after 8 seasons, right? And George Martin took to his blog where he admitted that he has done consulting on a game out of Japan. And now rumors are coming out and people are finally saying like, yes, this is that game. It's a From Software game that's going to be at Microsoft stage, officially unveiled. And George is kind of doing some writing on it. And it's a From Software title by Bandai Namco. It's their next release. And yeah, so that's the thing about like, I know I went off on the rant there, but like that specifically, that all that information that Zalker's reading here, anybody could have put that together if you've been paying attention to Dealer's channel or my channel or what Zalker's been saying or what anybody's been saying at Reset Air and the Xbox forums because people have been repeating it for a year and a half. It's nothing new.
So you did this leak. This is your account.
It ain't me because I would actually leak things that would be there that nobody's heard about yet.
Well, I like I said, I want to know, like, I just want this new Batman game to be revealed.
Yes, me too.
And, you know, you're a big Arkham fan. The Avengers game, obviously, we don't know if we'll hear anything from that, but there's so much more. Like, they had 50-something games last year. This is a fraction of that.
Yeah.
So,
yes. And where's Gears Pop, right?
They better not show Gears Pop.
I can't wait to see
Gears Pop. They better not show Minecraft again. I don't even want to see Sea of Thieves on the stage again.
Me neither.
I'll stab you.
I've been watching that bitch on that stage for 5 years. I'm done.
Yep.
So I just want to see new stuff, exciting stuff.
Yeah, where's the completely new and random stuff? If he knows everything, where's that new stuff?
Yeah, like where are the keys at? If you know everything, shit.
Yeah, he basically went the safest route you can go.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. He said a new mech assault. We know that Piranha has been talking to Microsoft, and it's been rumored for years. A perfect Dark reboot.
Let's talk about that. Piranha Games, makers of MechWarrior, they have met with Microsoft 6 times or more for a MechWarrior port, which is kind of big for Xbox, but also for things that they cannot say, quote unquote. So what are the odds that you know, Tim? Do you think maybe Piranha they're biting that Microsoft dick?
It's possible. I mean, I think we're going to be surprised to see 3. I really don't think this list is totally accurate, but it's well thought out and it's pretty safe. But as far as this with Mech Assault, that would be my dream for us to get for Xbox to get Mech Assault, but. I don't know that much about Piranha. If they could actually could you think they could do a good Mech Assault game? I want it to be a good Mech Assault game. I don't want it to be a
studio with as much experience with mechs as they. I mean, they don't have the highest rated games in the universe, but we don't know how big their team is, the budget. Like if Microsoft funded this, you know, Mech Assault's pretty straightforward, man. Give us a ton of customization, make it a visual showcase, squad based gameplay, and make it, you know. Just make it
would be a big just on fans alone, I think it would sell.
Yeah.
Just because I think fans really wanted this game. We've been talking about it for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and you know,
Oh,
it'd be great.
Don't rush it, right?
Yeah, don't rush it. But if you announce it, if they really are on it, I think that's going to be a really good thing at the E3. It'll be one of my favorite parts. For me, I've been asking for Microsoft for years.
Yeah, it's the reason it's one of the reasons I picked up my Xbox original. Mr. Buster Palmer says, "Oh God, we want KOTOR 3. Damn it!" I would agree, and I want maybe a KOTOR remaster for that warm up. Hey, we got to give a shout out to almost 900 people watching, guys. Hit that like button if you're tuning in. Maybe share this when you share things. We do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Chat, let us know what you think may or may not be true in this leak. Mechasult, Fable, I definitely want these games to Mechasult's maybe a little further out, but Fable for sure. Rand, we heard about these.
Well, and a Capcom exclusive is what it says, and a lot of Japanese support. Just to end on.
A lot of Japanese support. Oh my God, amazing! Microsoft games on stage, incredible. Nobody.
The leaker was Rand.
No, for real.
You got a super chat from Elemento Pio. He says, "Will Oddworld Soulstorm show up on stage?"
No.
Oddworld Soulstorm.
Look, we got too much shit here for Oddworld Soulstorms to be there.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we get something bigger like Cyclone Sandals 3.
That's not me. Yes, it is. You
want Cyclone Sandals 3, just like me. Come on.
Yeah, I want Cyclone Sandals 3.
Did you know Cyclone Sandals is actually a brand of sandals too?
Huh?
Yeah, I looked it up when you guys kept saying it, and it's a brand of sandals.
Cyclone Sandals is a real brand of sandals.
Yeah, we're giving them a plug every time.
I am suing someone.
Cyclone Sandals.
Oh my God! Thank you so much for the super chat, Element PO. But yeah, that's fucking hilarious. What's this thing with Rod Ferguson, Gears of War 5? This fucking this guy on Twitter, right? He said, "Going to play some Gears of War 5. Are you?" Or some shit like that, right? Did you guys see that?
Yeah,
and he fucking trolled everybody. He's like, "Guess what I'm playing this weekend? Fuck you. That's what I'm playing."
Yeah.
Rod's like, "I'm playing some Gears of War 5 this weekend. Are you guys?" And everyone's like, "Fuck you, Rod."
Yeah, well, Rod's a big troller. The reason why I think they ended on Gears wasn't it Gears Pop showed first, and then Gears Tactic, and everyone was like, "What's going on? Like this is going crazy." And then they showed Gears 5 finally at E3. But yeah, he likes to troll, and that was one of the reasons I heard that they did what they did at the show when they showed Gears Pop first. They wanted people to be like, "Whoa, what is this?"
Well, they kind of trolled themselves because people kind of talked about that way more than they should have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
honestly. But hey, they announced it. Hopefully, it doesn't. It better not be on the stage again. But I mean, any kind of
don't start with that shit.
Any kind of hopeful. I want some blockbusters. Damn it, we had a massive blockbuster since Gears 4. I'm ready. So, any kind of hopefuls from you guys for E3? It's going to be a massive show. How long is the show going to be, Rand? Is that confirmed yet?
No, but I would imagine about the same length as last one, maybe a little bit longer, considering the only game in town. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 2 hours long.
Yeah,
like exactly 2 hours.
I wouldn't mind as long as I'm not sitting in a tent, having to shuffle around and go to different places every
the one thing I want is I want from Microsoft, like Ninja Theory's new game, great. I love Ninja Theory, but show Fable. It's enough of tiptoeing around, and we don't want to show things too far out. Enough with that.
Yeah.
Sony's not there. People are going to be looking at you. What do you have for the future? You bought Playground. Their second team has been working on this game for a long time. Last year, you said they're making the game, and they'll have more to share with that later. Later, when someone says later, I expect it to be somewhat soon, not 2 years later. So end the show with a tease of next-gen Fable. Doesn't even have to be gameplay. I mean, just to let people know
Fable's
that it's real.
Not Fable.
Fable is.
This is going to be a complete reimagining. Thank God.
I want to see. I want to see a completely new IP to end the show on that just blows our minds. Not an old IP brought back to life. I don't want to see that.
Maybe so. I agree with you on that aspect. I want to see some new IPs as well. I want to see Fable like everybody else, but I want some new IPs, and I want my socks to be blown off. I want to look at these games and say, "Holy shit!" I want that feeling that I got when I saw Gears of War for the first time. That's what I'm looking for at E3.
Well, don't get me wrong.
If you're not wearing socks, it's just blow your fucking feet off. Like what happened?
Now, don't get me wrong. If they show a Fable that's completely reimagined, and we're talking like how God of War was changed up, that's great, right? That's great. But I still would rather end on a new IP that just blows my mind.
I want to see what these, because Phil Spencer talked about this last year. I want to see what the second party deals they signed, because he's like, yeah, we have some second party deals he signed that we're not ready to talk about. Like we're talking about like the Capcom exclusive, something like that. I want to see what he was talking about. I want to see what they signed, because a lot of the second party deals are pretty big games usually, like Spider-Man, stuff like that. So
he didn't say anything about second party deals, Zucker. He just said deals in general.
Making
Nothing
up
about
deals.
second party.
I do like deals.
I do like deals as well.
Mr. Buster Palmer Fonz, you mean Starfield?
Starfield, no. I want something different.
I'm
different.
I want something different.
I want what Rand wants. I think it's time to let the cat out of the bag, show that they have Fable. It doesn't have to close on it, but just show it and say, here we are, Playground's doing it, and get it out in the open.
I don't know about you guys, but I think it's finally time for Uno 2. I've been playing Uno 1 for
You know what? Uno 2 in 60 frames per second. I'm there.
the first one's 60, so come on.
Okay, 120 frames then.
All right.
Never mind. Uno, bring back 1 versus 100. Fuck.
Yes.
100.
D gets it. One of the best games on 360. One
Oh,
versus
that was-
100.
Even better
That
than
was
Puppy
So
Barbie?
much fun.
Much better than Barbie Puppy.
Do you remember playing the original Xbox Live and you're playing Uno and people would have their pictures there and they would
And you just get scarred for life and then turn it off?
Yeah, you would see some like penis pics and stuff. Yeah.
What the fuck?
You mean like the Super Smash Brother arenas that you can create online?
You're
Make it on-
ruining
make it on the
the
interface.
experience for Zucker. You keep telling them that's happening, they're going to change it. So,
Oh, that stuff was hilarious.
hey, once again, we got to thank we got to thank what? We got to thank everybody for joining us live. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Once more, if you're joining us, hit that like button. It's right under the title. It really helps. Thanks to that one fuckface that just gave us a dislike right when I said that. Also, I just want to thank the patrons once again. If you don't rock out with the people who support the show, we have Patreon links down below. So follow some of these guys on Twitter, YouTube, and more. Check them out. Give the channels a watch. These are other guys in the community that are out and talking about games, and you never know, you may stumble into one you absolutely enjoy listening to. So thank you so much for listening to us. I want to start with some outros, and I want to let you know, check the links down below. So Rand Althor, thank you so much for joining us, taking the spot of the very big shoes of Cultist Eastwood.
Yeah, the naughty dog of YouTube.
Yes, the most dangerous. He will be back next week, but in the meantime, you have done a fantastic job. What have you been playing, and where can people find you?
Well, thank you, dealer. I enjoyed being on the show with my fellow gamers that we, talk to every single night in parties for the most part. It's always fun being on here stealing people's sticks. Good times. What have I been playing? The Plague's Tale. Love it. Play it. Rage 2, 60 frames. It's an okay game. Just I'd rate it about just as high as I would rate Days Gone. But that's
broad.
I don't know. Days Gone ain't that good, Fonz.
It's good.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But you know what's amazing though, Fonz? Red Dead Redemption 2 will always have that in common, bro.
Yes.
Best game of the gen.
That's
That's what I've been playing.
I think you guys are wrong on that one.
Yep.
Hey, at least I didn't put out a video reviewing it without finishing it. You know what I mean?
Isn't it odd that game did not win Game of the Year and it is rated higher on Metacritic?
I don't think it's that odd. God of War it was like 1A, 1B. Red Dead Redemption 2 was my 1A, 1B was God of War. I was happy with either choice.
Yeah, they were great.
I'm just saying that doesn't happen very often.
No.
Two great games doesn't happen very often in the same year like that, too.
Well, you better take another look at 2015. Shit. Fonz, what have you been playing, and where can people find you, bro?
I've been playing some Rage 2, and they can find me here at Jay Fonzarelli on YouTube and Twitter, and find me at Fight Culture Podcast. If you're into mixed martial arts, listen to us there. We've changed. We moved from Sundays to Mondays now. Mondays live at 3:30 p.m. West Coast time, so 6:30 p.m. East Coast time. And also, I want to thank our newest sponsor, Cyclone Sandals. We seem to be giving them plugs all the time. Go buy you a pair. I'm sure Wes Webb is on that right now. Shout out to the chat. Always great as usual. And thanks for having me again.
The windiest sandals around. Hey, Zalker, how have you been, bud? Where can people find you?
But doing good, man. I've been playing a lot of Rage 2. I beat it. I got like over 700 gamer score in that thing. That game was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun playing that in parties. It's a great party game. You just kill a bunch of shit and have a good time. Everybody, you can find me at Zalker87 on Twitter and Zalker87 on YouTube. I just put out videos about everything gaming. I enjoy talking games, and I'm downloading Minecraft now so I could go build penis buildings with Rand, and I'm going to have a good time doing that.
All right, that's a great soundbite. Tim Dog, thank you so much for joining us again, the newest member of RDX Podcast. And you know what? I gotta thank you again for joining us. What have you been playing, and where can people find you?
Love being here. Been playing Rage 2 that night that you guys hijacked me till 6 a.m. Got me sick, just so you know, but I'm not complaining.
Man up, man.
That's for you getting sick. You're over there licking other people's refrigerators and shit.
No, but played Rage 2. I have to say I like it a lot. I think it's a very fun game to play. It might not be the sharpest looking graphics, but it has a good sound design. Its graphics are good in a way. I think it could be sharper, but yeah, I enjoy the game. I enjoy the full free roaming Mad Max type deal. Just go around, get your missions. So I have to say that I recommend that game. And that's pretty much it. I've been sick the last couple of days. I've been out of work, so tomorrow I feel better. Thank you to the 900 people, or the almost 900, almost 500 likes. The fans are, the people who show up, and the community is great. And I'm very happy to be here.
You played hooky for the past couple of days, you bad boy.
I have. I'm going to work tomorrow, though.
Oh my god. Okay. Great sound bites in the show. Hey, D-Batch, how have you been, sir? And what have you been playing? Where can people find you?
I'm good. I've been playing Rage 2 a little bit over the weekend, but I've been getting a lot of the new TVs in, so I'm kind of prepping the videos to put on my channel. So in the next few weeks, you guys will see a lot of TV stuff, and you guys can catch me on YouTube at dbatch, and of course on Twitter at d_batch.
And I did get everyone right. Once again, I got to say thanks to everyone. I just beat Rage 2 as well. If you didn't check out my last video, I just uploaded that earlier. That thing is on fucking fire. Be sure to leave a comment stuff in the comments below. If you missed the front half of the show, check it out when it re-uploads. And once more, guys, just remember that nobody wants to kind of deal with any kind of drama. I know that's a lot of people talking about this stuff in the chat. We don't want to deal with this drama. We've proven that over the past several years. It's not really what we're into. We've had kind of certain members in the past that kind of bring that shit up more than others. And it just, it's one of those things you can't avoid. So at the end of the day, if somebody's accusing you of stealing their stick, just tell them to go fuck themselves and move on and continue to show what you're worth in the content you put out. There's a lot of great creators and stuff to show up in our chat. I want to thank all you guys and those who listen and powered the show. You guys are absolutely fucking phenomenal. Check those links down below. We are out.
I like
Later, everybody.
I signed out twice.